Hello everyone on the Soul Nurturer channel. This is Victoria, and I have a somewhat spontaneous video to do. I had decided to do weekly videos, but also I have a philosophy that what's coming up in my world, I am certain you're experiencing somewhere in yours. So I wanted to share this topic today that came up with an online course I'm working with right now. It's a topic for their journey, and I thought it's perfect for all of us. Any of you out there dealing with obstacles? And how do you deal with obstacles that come up on your path? There's a saying that the obstacle becomes the way. So I want to explore that with you today because I have a little bit of a different take on it. Of course, that everything that shows up on our journeys in our lives, moment to moment, day by day as it's going, and there's a lot of obstacles, not just personally, our own obstacles in our lives, but collectively. Things are very different right now, aren't they? The things we used to do, the way we used to do things are shifted and changed, and some roads closed and we have to go in different directions. And so that's what I want to talk about today with obstacles. How are you navigating the obstacles in your life? How do you work with them? You know, there's a lot of sort of old pattern, collective patterning about obstacles, you know, which is to dig in deeper and push harder. You know, it's sort of that masculine energy of approaching obstacles. So perhaps I'm going to be sharing not just feminine because I'm a woman, but the feminine way of exploring and being with obstacles. Okay, so just for a moment, just think right now, how do you manage obstacles that come your way or block your way? What do you currently do? How do you currently navigate? Do you just dig deeper and push through? Well, let's explore some other possibilities. Let's expand this concept and think about obstacles. Why do they show up? What are they for? You know, sometimes obstacles are inviting us to dig a little deeper, to cultivate some persistence and determination, and to keep pushing through in the direction that we intend to go. Okay. Well, sometimes obstacles ask us to pause and review and reconsider, or just take a breather, which is very helpful, especially during these intense times. But, you know, sometimes I was talking to a friend of mine that I'm now currently doing the Sister My Soul channel with, my friend Asha, and we were talking about obstacles, and we do a beautiful, we have a beautiful style of just like tossing ideas back and forth to each other. And so we were talking about obstacles, and somehow out of that conversation, this concept became, well, hey, when there are obstacles, create an obstacle course and play with what is, right? I mean, you know, like parkour, I think Asha said, but obstacle course. All right, hey, it's just some, you know, some things in the way of my way that become my way, and I'm going to play with what's in the way, and that's possible too. Sometimes sometimes our obstacles direct us in another way and lead us to things that we didn't even know how to pray for or ask for. And that's connected to a surrender. So I'm going to talk about surrender a little bit more in just a moment. But, you know, an obstacle can push you in another direction. Think about how a river flows. A river is one of my reference points for many, many teachings, watching how a river flows. It knows the consciousness of the river is moving towards the ocean. And there are many obstacles on the path, log jams and changing, but also rivers will completely change course. You know, they don't go in a straight direction, right? So I think of obstacles that way too. Okay, this direction that I intended, what I wanted that I thought was this, I'm being redirected over this way. And then that requires some trust. Okay, so it's sort of surrendering and trusting. And when I talk about surrender, when it comes to obstacles, it's to, you know, surrender the original intention, to pause, surrender, what was the intention of what you're trying to do, or what is the intention? And it's a good time to review. I like to include that our intentions, yes, often are for the higher picture, the highest contribution to the collective and in service of others, but our intention has to include us. And then the other side of that is our intention shouldn't just be about us. It should include the higher good, right? So sometimes it's a matter of the obstacles in our way of reviewing that intention. What am I intending to do, and why am I intending to do it, and what will this serve, and how will it serve? Okay, so it might be just a time to review that. But the obstacles that do appear in our way are always teaching us something. Everything that shows up in our life, literally you could work with anything, especially with transformational hypnotherapy and imagery work that I do, and even dream work, which dream work, can be applied to our awake dream state, right? Right now, I could look around anywhere in my office here and find something that symbolizes something that I could work with and drop into a deeper understanding or knowing, or some information that's going to be supportive to me. Truly, it's about being aware and present to what is in a new way. So here are some questions that you might ask if you're encountering some obstacles. Again, I want you to just consider and be curious about, how do you currently work with obstacles? And every moment we're given an opportunity to make a different choice about it. Does this old way still serve? Why do I do it this way? Who taught me to do it this way? Or is there a new way to be with what is, and even the obstacles that will be more supportive to your personal authentic style and your personal unfolding? Okay, so here are some questions that I have to offer, but ask yourself some of your own questions to kind of stir that pot of curiosity that brings more awareness, more insights, and hopefully a clearing. Okay, so the simple question to ask, what does all this mean? All these obstacles I'm facing, what's going on here? And here's a really important question: how is this familiar? And by familiar, not only the feeling of the obstacle, but the familiarity of the pattern of how you're dealing with it, and the beliefs that come up when you're dealing with an obstacle. What are you telling yourself about yourself? Sometimes the obstacles come up to show us where we are in consciousness, so it's an opportunity to make a different choice. Oftentimes with obstacles, I have a really old wired pattern of helplessness and giving up. Okay, so I have to check that. What am I believing? What am I telling myself? Am I giving up before I have an opportunity to really push through here? And there is a difference between giving up and surrender. I like to say, never, never, never give up, but always surrender, especially if you feel stuck, if you feel challenged, if you feel overwhelmed by what you're facing, what's on your path, those obstacles. Always surrender. So I think I've done a video on surrender. If not, I will do one. I'll double check. I've done, 40 something videos now on various topics. But in a nutshell, surrender for me means to just lay it down. If you've got faith about that, you lay it down, you give it to God, but you're saying, this way is not working, or I'm going to surrender it and put it down and see if this way is even the right way. If I'm meant to continue on this path, or if something else is meant to show up that I'm missing. Sometimes we can be so locked in intention and determination and persistence, and I have to do this no matter what the obstacles. I was watching a video the other day, and I could only tolerate like 30 seconds, because it was from that masculine, maybe patriarchal way of, do it, get it done, keep going, and I was like, no, that's not my way. That's not my style. Maybe it's your way. And I don't mean to make fun or make light of that. We're all individuals. We have our own unique way of being. And if that style works for you and you're getting results, awesome. It doesn't work for me. I flow more like a river. And because I've learned to surrender, after bumping my head against a couple walls, over and over again, this obviously isn't opening, this way isn't the way, or trying to walk through a door that's not only shut, it's like, got all kinds of locks on it. That's not my way, but I keep thinking, I'm supposed to go through that door. I'm supposed to do that. I can give you a quick example of that. And that is, for years, I wanted to take this extended training program on dream work. Now, I had some training in my hypnotherapy program, just learning about dream work. I'd been working with dreams before that. Dreams have been, what's the word? A way of a guidance for me. My mom died when I was 17, and I often say she did her best mothering, not best, but she mothered me through dreams. I dreamt of my mom for years. So dreams have always been part of my journey, but there was something calling me to this dream work training program, maybe to have that next credential. That's another topic. Those of us who are practitioners and supporting others, the next credential, the next training, and we're constantly absorbing more instead of trusting what we already have, right? But I'm not kidding when I say for 10 years, I was thinking about this program, and I attempted a few times to enroll and to go, but it just wasn't flowing. And so this time here during the quarantine, one of the programs that I wanted to go to was online. And so I was able to attend this conference and realize what they're teaching. I've already studied that on my own and knew a lot about what they were talking about. I love the community, but did I need the credential? I was still determined I did need that credential, and I kept trying to get that door open. But there was a different door that was alongside of this door, the Dream Work Training or the Spiritual Director Program. Now, when I heard about that program, my whole body lit up, and I felt this almost fluidity in my body. Sometimes the external obstacles, not sometimes, often, those external obstacles are reflecting the inner obstacles. So even though I wanted the dream work training, there was some block there. What was the block? Well, asking these questions. I'm going to go back to the questions as I often do in my talks. I go off on a little tangent and then bring it all together. My soul knew that wasn't the way. There was another way. And then once I kind of glommed onto that and felt the fluidity in my body, this whole body feeling of yes, this might be the path. Then I asked a couple questions to the person that was helping me enroll in the other program. I had 2 questions, and those 2 questions were answered so easily and so effortlessly. And within minutes, I was enrolled in the other program. That easy. And it's starting next month. That easy. So for me, what I've learned before, and I had another review in this learning, that when we're too fixed on the way it needs to be and how it should look and which way we're going, we might miss other opportunities. And I like to say that in that place of, yes, having intention, moving in a direction, but surrendering. Surrender requires trust. And in that surrender, I'm gonna let this go and hold the desire in my heart, but let go of the pushing it to allow for the flow of it. Okay? And what I like to say is that in that space, things can show up that you never knew how to ask for or never even envisioned or prayed about, that show up that are just the sweetest blessings. So I'm going to talk more about surrender another time, but let's get back to some of these questions. To drop in deeper to the what is with obstacles. What's familiar about this? What beliefs come up within me when I'm faced with this obstacle? And this is a great place to explore and to become aware of your beliefs so you can change your beliefs to be more supportive and to help you shift a disempowered belief to an empowered belief. Maybe suddenly you're playing in that obstacle course and it's fun, or perhaps the obstacles disappear because they no longer need to reveal what needs to be healed. Okay, so again, I mentioned it's a good time to review your intention. What is your intention for moving in the direction that you want to? And I'll tell you, some of the snags will be that it's not an authentic intention. It's not aligned with your highest purpose or your soul, or you're creating intention to manipulate life instead of flowing with life. That's kind of a big, what does that mean? It's a lot to unpack there. So when we're manipulating our lives, that means that we're still inauthentically trying to get our needs met in the external rather than within. This is a really complicated one, but so what I witness in others, and I've in myself as well, when you're pushing too hard or you're manipulating and trying to make it happen so that you get what you need, that is a desire to get the need on the external or from someone else or in another way that's not aligned with you. So always go back to, what do I need, or what need am I trying to get met here? How can I meet that within myself? You could even ask, having that need met, what will be different? How will I feel? And then you'll notice some flow, some opening, and you're already meeting the need. And then, this might be the woo-woo part, when you have that need met on the inner, the external begins to reflect that, okay? Just like the obstacles on the external can reflect the inner obstacle, the flow and need met and the feeling of the need met reflects the external. And then there's movement, okay? Obstacles can dissolve, or you just dance around the obstacles and you keep moving forward. Okay, let me know if you have any questions on that. That was a little dense with information, but all right. So if your intention is not in alignment, then revisit it. And you want an intention that's going to feel like inspiring and empowering and possible. Okay. All right. So, and then the question, what do I need to move forward? Maybe you want to create these obstacles and turn them into an obstacle course. What do I need to be able to be with what is? Do I need more trust? Do I need more playfulness? Do I need more willingness? Or do I need to just pause a little bit longer, fill up my well? I talk about that a lot. And it's an important thing to do, because when we are deplete, if we are feeling overwhelmed, tired, stressed, we don't have clear ability to discern, is this the right way, or do I need to just let it go completely? Okay. So another place to pause is practice some good self-care, rest, restore, replenish, get to that place where you feel clear, and then think about it again. Okay. All right. And then, just the question, am I meant to let go of this? Try that on too. Sometimes we get so fixed that it has to look this way, that if we're not willing to let go, we will not or may not arrive to what is possible. So try on the willing to let it go. And that old saying, if you let it go and it comes back, it's yours. It's your path. Okay. So, again, that quote, and I think, I don't know the origin, it's a Stoic quote of, the obstacle becomes the way, but I like to say the obstacle becomes the way, but the obstacle can also show us or reveal a new way, first through us and then around us. Okay, so again, use that metaphor of the river. Go sit by a river if you can, or watch a video of a river. Notice how it flows. And we can't push the river, but we can honor that sometimes there are natural places that are slowing down and even being redirected. Okay, so that's basically what I wanted to share with you. I'd love to hear about how you navigate obstacles, and to really just empower this thought. Never give up, but always surrender, and work with whatever shows up in your life. It's always, always purposeful to your journey, your unfolding, to your healing, and to your transformation. All I'll add is just nurture yourself and your soul as you explore all these topics, all these questions. that before, and when you notice the obstacles and you start to get, like I did a couple weeks ago, and even with this class that I'm doing online, I was getting frustrated, one obstacle after another, to take my own advice and pause and nurture my own needs in this moment. What did I need? And if I'm serving myself, I have greater capacity to serve others, and that's really key too. So nurture your soul, let your curiosity offer up some wonderful questions, and be willing to explore, and then surrender and see what arises. Okay, that's it for now. Take good care of yourself, and I'm always open for suggestions for topics. Send them my way. Continue to share these videos, subscribe if you haven't, and of course click that little bell that lets you know when I upload a new video. In the meantime, take good care until we meet again.